manufacturing of North American cars for the last 120 years or whatever, that is one of the most beautiful of all of them.
I agree. Yeah, I think bang for the buck, maybe the best car ever made.
I think so. I think you're right.
I agree.
So, a couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to go Bowling Green, Kentucky to the Corvette plant and look at Corvettes being made. And they gave me a Corvette to take out on a test track, and it was just a wonderful day. And honestly, I fell in love at the time with the C8, just a magnificent car. On that day, they brought another car out to show us, and actually Janice got to go around the track, and that was the Z06. I didn't get to drive in it, she did, but I looked at that and I was just blown away. And when I saw the Z06s coming down the assembly line with the C8s, the Z06 was so much bigger. They filled the cradle up completely. It was just a different car. And that's when you realize, side by side, the Z06 is a Corvette, but it's not an ordinary C8. It's a very special car. Matt gave me a call. He's got one here. And most of them just blow right out the door. But anyway, he's got this one here, so I'm taking the opportunity to come. We're gonna go for a little drive in it, and we'll talk about the C8 and the Z06, and why, in my opinion, this is probably one of the best deals going right now. If you want high performance that's different, that will appreciate in value over the years, you know, one of these. I've wanted a Zora, and honestly, every time I see a Z06, I start to think, this would do, you know? So, Matt, what's the horsepower on this?
So this car has been punched up. It's kind of an engineering marvel. It's a 5.5 liter V8, naturally aspirated, with a flat plane crank. It produces 670 horsepower from a naturally aspirated V8, which is an unbelievable achievement on its own.
Yeah.
The torque number is 460 foot-pounds of torque. It has an RPM maximum of 8,600, so it's a very high revving engine.
For a big engine, that's huge.
Yeah. A very high revving engine. It's a 0 to 60 in 2.6 second car, and I believe a 10.7 quarter mile car. And if you watch the videos, when it does the quarter mile, it's just really starting to get going. I mean, this car has a lot of legs to it.
Oh, we're neck and neck! Oh my goodness, he's right there!
Well, these are more, you know, the drag racing is sort of the way America tells you how fast something is. But the real test is putting something this on a track, like Nürburgring, which is where everybody goes now. Right. And I mean, these are pretty hard for anybody to keep up with, even the supercars.
Yes, this car beats almost every Lamborghini they have on the Nürburgring, most of the Ferraris. So it's been targeted now. You're seeing Lamborghini, Ferrari, and other manufacturers take these cars and they're trying to target our car, which, you know, speaks volumes to it. You know, if you kept the price out of it, this car competes with anything out there. You start to look at how much some of its competitors cost. This becomes probably one of the best deals in automotive history, really.
You know, as for driving, because I've driven lots of Ferraris and I've driven Lamborghinis and everything. And honestly, I just love driving these.
At this moment in time, Corvette truly is the pinnacle of engineering, design, technology.
We are super lucky to work on this, and to be able to do something this revolutionary on the 8th generation Corvette is a big piece of Corvette history that doesn't get lost on any of us.
This is the ultimate dream car.
So you're telling me that this thing has a special sound when it goes a cold start?
It does, yes, as most sports cars do. It's got quite a sound when it remote starts, or when it cold starts. But the remote start is kind of something unique. I mean, it's a Corvette, but you still get remote start, which a lot of its competitors do not have. So you want to warm it up or cool it down, you can do it. And it gives you access. You've got the trunk and you've got the front trunk as well, the frunk, if you will.
You can start it from the outside.
We can start it from the outside, and you can hear the sound that the engineers worked so tirelessly on. You ready?
So how could that ever be an issue at like 6 in the morning in a subdivision?
So it quiets down now from its cold start, but it is, and then it quiets right down. Now it's in a touring mode. We can change the modes, and you can put it in a sport or track mode and get that loud sound back if you want it. But yeah.
That's Yeah, that could be a problem with neighbors. It's changing the notes, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a cold day today too, so it's going to take a minute to warm up and get to operating temperature. Well, shall we? Shall we go for a ride?
We shall. I'll let you drive off first.
You want me to drive first?
Yeah.
Okay.
You drive first. Now there's a masterpiece of automotive design right there. Look at that.
Is, yes.
Yeah, and the dirt is like special dirt put on by me.
That'd be a neat one for us to do one day. The Escalade V.
That's a tank of a truck.
700 horsepower Escalade.
Oh, really?
Everybody needs.
Oh,
yeah. So I've got it in sport mode, which is how I would probably choose to drive it.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose to paddle shift if you like, or you can leave it automatic.
Yeah, that's the only thing I really miss is sticks. And I understand why they're going away, because you can't meet the emissions controls with a stick. The computer's got to do it, but it's still, you know. Has a good sound.
Great sound, yeah.
You know, considering it's an American V8, it sounds like a European 12-cylinder.
Yes, yeah.
Which is nice, you know, and it's a comfortable car. The seat's maybe a little bit too far back for it moves.
Oh.
Did you absolute fear on my face when the back end broke out?
Well, the nice thing with
Not
this,
a brand new one.
with traction control and StabiliTrak, we don't need to worry. This car will not hurt you.
Yeah, well.
Now we could turn all that off, and then you're on your own driving.
And even, you know, I was talking to an engineer at GM a few years ago, and he said people think they can turn off their control systems completely.
Yes.
But the car is still watching, because they had people seriously injuring themselves because they turned it off and would think that they could still drive like a hero.
Yes.
Not realizing that the car was doing all the cornering. And you know, when you're dealing with 600 or 700 horsepower, tires are not really capable of anything over that. So now all you've got is you're going to break traction. It's not going to hold you on the road. Yeah, nice sounds.
It's great sound.
Really nice sounds coming out of this thing.
And then we could quiet it down. Like, this is in the sport mode, and just for acoustics, if we were to turn it to touring, you'll hear it. It's much quieter now.
Yeah.
And you'll feel it a lot smoother.
This is, right now, that's completely livable. Also, because I'm old school, I like to see mechanical connections to things like, I don't know, wheels and a front suspension. And I mean, these cars really have there's nothing physical talking to those front wheels, you know? So, I mean, it's interesting that they can change it, but I mean, whatever goes wrong with electronics? Can't think of anything.
Is this a good spot, you think?
Well,
you tell
let's
me.
take a look.
A little spot on the left, we could put it, back it in there, do you think? Wrap your ass in fiberglass.
Yeah. Oh, is that the getting out button? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the wireless charging's kind of behind you in the middle. Big Bose speaker behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Carbon fiber seats. And this has got the nicer headliner. You can get these transparent too.
So this pops off, eh?
Oh yeah, it's removable. They're all removable hardtops, yeah. And then it stores in the back. It's got little tabs that it goes in and stores right in the back. Shut it off.
Yeah. Well, that's scary fast, isn't it?
It is, yes.
I mean, when you took off and that rear end did a little wriggle, my first thought was, oh no, it's a new car!
Well, I am trusting of a lot of the electronics that are in here, which...
It took command. I mean, as soon as that little... I mean, it was a tiny wiggle.
Yes.
When you're a passenger, those wiggles are more concerning. But the car just took command immediately as far as the traction control was concerned. That's really impressive, because that technology is so fast.
Yeah, it's instant. And I mean, I've become accustomed to it, so I am trusting a machine to take over where
because I mean,
fail.
I've been in cars where that little wiggle means you're having an immediate departure from the track.
Had everything been turned off, we would have needed some.
Yeah, you got to get off that
skills.
throttle in a real hurry. Whereas you basically stayed on. You never came off the throttle because you didn't have to.
No,
Yeah,
it corrects itself and lets it go. And
Yeah.
I mean, even on a track, you could leave all that stuff on. I mean,
You could. Yeah.
I've driven these cars in Las Vegas at that exotics and places, and
The only problem with that is, and first time I had a Lotus Exige, I had an Elise. I went on a track and it was driving me crazy. I wanted to put the car into a little bit of a drift to line it up better to come out of the corner.
Yep.
And I was just and I pulled into the pits, and one of the technicians walks by, the Lotus guys, he says, "Do you have the traction control on?" I said, "Traction control?" Right? My brakes were bright glowing red. I didn't realize I was fighting the traction. Once I turned it off, I could do the corners, but it was pretty impressive because...
Yeah, if we could get it on a track and you turn off the StabiliTrak, turn off the traction control, then yes.
It allows you to slip the car around.
It does, and I mean, this car wants to do that. It wants to
yeah, it's going to, I mean, you're going to be able to lose control of this car pretty quickly. Let's face it, good racing is knowing the exact moment your car is going to depart and keeping it that fraction under. And that's how you get around the track fastest.
Right. Smoothness, right? Smoothness is fastest, yes.
So the only problem with the Z06 is the ZR1.
Okay.
Right? I mean, GM brings out this magnificent creature and then follows on before you guys have cleared all of the Z06s out, because I mean they're a hot ticket item. Every single one that was coming out is already pre-purchased, and then GM goes, "Oh, but we're bringing out the ZR1," and Ray goes, "Oh, I got to have that one." Oh, no, I don't want the Z06. I want the ZR1. Honestly, and here's my take on this: this thing's got 600 horsepower,
670 horsepower,
670 horsepower, and the ZR1 has
1,084.
Okay, so you've got another 450, 500 horsepower you cannot use.
Right.
You can't use it. You can use it on a drag strip. How many people are going to buy one and go drag racing? And tires, and if you look at tire technology, tires are not really capable of handling anything over 600 horsepower. That's it. Right. That's where tires stop. And cold tires, like today, these tires would be hard pressed to keep up with what this car can do.
100%.
Until you've got a lot of heat on them.
Well, and I think for an everyday driver, I mean, I haven't driven a ZR1. I mean, they're not out yet. It's you know, we're not going to call it a fault of GM, but they love to say, "Look what we have coming," and sometimes it spoils what we already have. And we have this car available. This is more than anyone would ever need to use. Even a professional driver. I mean, this car will be everything.
Depending on the track, this car would do just as well as one with 1,400 horse.
That's right.
Because at a certain point, it's the finesse of it. You know, the 1,400 horse with a lot of straightaways, but let's face it, most road courses aren't about lots of straightaways.
No, that's right. But I mean, as an everyday driver, I think the regular Stingray is more than enough. And if that's not enough, we have the Z06.
Yeah.
The ZR1 will be a lot smaller numbers, a lot more money.
It's $250,000 or somewhere around there.
We're predicting that. I would think 250 to 300 Canadian, but the verdict's out on that. I mean, it will be up there, and then there's...
But you'll have enough people want them.
I mean, the ZR1's coming. The other one they've let out of the bag is the Zora. You touched on it, but a Zora is going to be this car with an electric assist motor on the front, so it'll be an all-wheel drive Z06. Even more power. I mean, the estimate probably 800 horsepower at least on that, maybe 900.
And that's the one I'm thinking of buying for myself. Is the
Zora,
Yeah, the Zora.
Originally, there was rumors we would make an all-electric car and call it a Zora, and I think that down the road you may see an electric Corvette. I mean, I think the true...
everybody's jumping there now. Well, why not?
Yeah, the true Corvette aficionados aren't going to love that car, but there are some people. I mean,
and they're really not going to love it when it blows their doors off.
That's true. I mean, the electric cars, we're both driving a Cadillac Lyric right now. And
and I've been driving electric since 2013.
Right.
And my first biggest smile with a Volt, a Chevy Volt, which nowadays nothing but pretty exotic, one, was blowing the doors off an AMG Mercedes.
Right.
You see his little face.
You know, like when we were kids and we had those little cars on the racetracks, and you squeeze the trigger too hard and the car flies off the track. I mean, that's electric torque, basically.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I mean, these are getting recognized now in the supercar world.
Oh, 100%, yes.
You know, and I mean, if you have one of these in Europe, that's pretty rare.
Yes.
You know, and it's certainly competitive.
Well, I think the test is the 5-year-old test. When you put a car like this in front of a 5-year-old, they go, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
you can tell looking at this car is wow. Before you hear it, before you drive it, just standing still.
And this is how
beautiful piece of machinery.
So this is how GM is designing cars now?
No, that's my own analogy, if you will.
We're renting 5-year-olds. And the engine in this thing, we haven't even seen that yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I like, you know, the C8's got the hockey stick, and I know it's called a hockey stick because I spent a day with a guy who designed these cars.
Okay.
Right? Gord Peters. And I mean, that was just the most fun day. And he walked me around all of his designs. And then, of course, this has this futuristic piece, which just takes that much further.
Well, and it is usable. So it is venting that comes through to cool the rear brakes, and then some of it's used to cool the engine as needed. Yeah. And again, all of the coupes come with a removable hardtop. So we can pop this open. The whole hatch comes up, and one of the designs that Chevy did, golf clubs. So many people want to know, will my golf clubs fit in this car? This is specifically made so that your golf clubs will fit in here, and if you don't have a massive bag, you can fit 2 sets of golf clubs in here. Well, and the nice thing with this being a mid-engine car is we also get a front trunk, or a frunk, if you will, which is very handy if you're going to use it as a grocery getter.
Oh, look at that, yeah.
So in here, this is a brand new car, floor mats. And then this is the extra kit that they give you for extra cooling if you were gonna track the car.
Oh, okay.
But you can see that's a really nice
That's a
deep
decent
spot.
size.
You've got, and
Yeah.
Corvette also makes matching luggage that's made to fit right in there.
A la Ferrari.
Right, so
Yeah.
you can order the luggage kit that'll fit right in there.
Yeah.
Wow, this is the flat plain crank LT6 5.5 liter V8. Again, this is an engineering marvel. This General Motors kept that under wraps for a long time. Mm-hmm. It was rumored this car would be supercharged, turbocharged. When it came out as a naturally aspirated V8 with the kind of numbers that it has, I think that's everybody took notice of this.
It's interesting that there's sort of that little drive back to very limited numbers of naturally aspirated cars that still develop huge amounts of power.
Well, and I think you felt it. It's instantaneous.
It is.
There's no turbo lag, no supercharger. And the sound is unbelievable.
That's right.
I mean,
and you know, the interesting thing about this, they have a special area in the factory that they're assembling these engines, and one guy assembles one engine.
yes.
You know, and I think that's great. So it's not an assembly line thing.
It's still handmade, yeah.
Yeah.
And they've got that handcrafted by, on this one, we've got Amy Taylor's name and signature from the Bowling Green plant. And Bowling Green is still a super neat place you can go see. You can watch your Corvette come out. There's a lot of individual things. If you order one, you can have an individual name badge put right on your car.
Even better, if you order one and you live down there,
you can drive and pick it up.
You can pick it up at the museum. Right. They have an area in the museum, the main hall of the museum. And I said, what are all these cars doing? They said, people are coming today to pick those cars up. Right. And we give them a special tour. I mean, it's really a red carpet event. I mean, it just makes these fun.
And this has power pull down, so just a soft close, like the old Cadillac trunks, if you will. Yeah, and another unique, if you want to know a Z06 when you're on the road, the Z06 has the 4 quad-tipped exhaust right in the center, as opposed to 2 on either side. Which
is something I really liked. And that was the only thing, when I walked around the E-Ray, I went, oh, because I wanted those.
Right.
That's, you know, like, it doesn't matter what the exhaust comes out. But it's just so much cooler coming out in the middle.
Well, and with these cars too, if you wanted to, and we have one at the dealership actually that we can take some video of, but there's a Z06 with a Z07 race package on it, so I do have one there. It's got a big wing on it, a lower suspension, comes with cup tires, and it's got different front splitters on it, so it's got true front splitters for aerodynamics, and it is more of, that's the race package, that Z07 package.
Oh, okay, this is the one.
So this is a 2025 Z06 was ordered with the Z07 package. A step above what we get, it's a little lower. It's got the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2R race tires on it. I've sold some of these. The first thing I tell
there's no tread on this tire.
To get some other tires.
Yeah.
You can tell it's a little lower, and then it's got all these front splitters, carbon fiber splitter package on it for better aerodynamics. and then it's got the big high wing spoiler on it. This particular one has the ceramic brake options. You can also add carbon fiber wheels to it. But horsepower, everything else is the same as the car we just drove. This has got kind of a custom interior with the white and black. It's nice with the carbon fiber package. And then this is a convertible, so we can see the difference where now we're not seeing that engine. It's covered up. We've got a small back window with a rear defroster.
This is nice, but I still prefer the coupe. That little.
Yeah, and a lot of people do. I think that goes along any car line. A lot of times the coupe just looks better than the convertible with the top shop.
I've always said a convertible is only 2/3 of the designer's idea.
Yes, it's true.
Should we go back before we freeze to death?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. Mind if I drive?
Of course, your turn, yes.
All right. Oh, see, I have a much easier time getting in this side of a car. And the key just has to be somewhere in the vicinity?
Somewhere close. I think you're close enough here.
What's that little, it sounds like a door slamming. Cool. Nice sound on this. You know, I'm having so much problems that every car has a completely different system for putting it in gear.
Yes.
So I get into the lyric and I'm waving around here. Now I get into the volt. I grab the stock and pull it into gear, and there's no gear there. And the other thing I did the other day, I went to hit the windshield wipers in the lyric and engaged park while I was still moving. It was great.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Look at that. I put it in D.
You got it in D. Yep.
You know, it doesn't get any better. I do like this car a lot. I'm hoping that if I drive an E-Ray, I'll like it more than this.
Okay.
But they're more money than this, aren't they?
Oh, I think they're about the same.
Oh, well, that's all right then. Yeah.
The E-Ray has that stealth mode that some people like. You were talking about your neighbors. If you're working worried about that.
I don't. My neighbor owns a kennel, so
So
I'm not
you want
that.
to get back at him. Okay.
I'm not that worried about it.
But let's say you're coming home at 12:30 at night and you don't want your wife to wake up. You can put the
Or
E-Ray
know
has
that you
the
were out.
stealth mode.
Yeah.
And it'll drive just on the electric battery for up to 50 kilometers. So that's kind of a neat feature.
This is a neat feature, but honest to God, if you were in your driveway and it was early in the morning, your neighbors would hate you.
Yeah.
On the other side of that is, I've had neighbors that I used to leave a diesel truck running in my driveway just to irritate the crap out of them, right? Because they were so annoying.
Would you like it in the sport mode? A little stiffer?
Sure.
So you just turn that dial to the right.
To the right?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
One turn. It sounds like a manual.
It does. And then when you paddle shift, and it'll still take it. If you over rev them, I've noticed they take over.
No, it won't.
Oh, is that right?
No.
Oh, so you can ruin this engine. Perfect.
Well, I won't ruin it. It's got a rev limiter, but
Yeah.
it'll start slapping on the rev limiter,
Yeah. Oh, I like the sound of this a lot.
Me too.
Yeah. That is as satisfying as pretty much anything. Like, I used to like the sound of Lamborghinis, the older ones. I mean, I had Countach, and I've driven a lot of older Lamborghinis. I detest the new ones. They're so raucous, they're so jarring, and the idiots who drive them or rent them just like to really just irritate the crap out of you with them.
Look what I got, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can play with it in paddle mode. You can play with the sounds.
Yeah. That's so cool. It's the best sounding car we've ever made by far.
No kidding,
Yeah.
eh?
I mean, I have that Blackwing and I love it, but it does not sound like this.
This is definitely a make you smile car.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yes. It's making me want to buy one now.
Yeah, I know. No kidding, eh? Isn't it awful? You'd think we'd know better, wouldn't you?
Right.
Like, I mean, I got 35 years of doing this professionally, and I have not learned yet. Like, shiny toy, shiny. Ooh, it makes a big noise. Do you mind if I do a little stumble? I love that sound.
And now keep in mind too, this car, it's not letting us rev to
No.
8,600. So
That's right.
it has a break-in period of 500 miles.
Yeah, and it does it
So-
itself rather than relying on the idiot human.
Right, so it's only letting us redline at 6,500. So we're not experiencing its full potential
Yeah.
yet until you get to 500 miles, and then it will release itself out of the break-in mode.
Yeah, and that's clever of them.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, I've seen lots of engines ruined because people overuse them too early.
Right.
And even on rebuilds, like we do rebuilds, and we say to people, it's a brand new engine. You need to not go, and they go out and go, "Arr!" and go, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
You know, and it's always my fault when it breaks. You know, did you break it in? Well, what do you mean?
What do you think?
I freaking hate you. That's what I think.
That's my first time in one too.
That's pretty satisfying. Even though it's your fingertips doing it instead of the,
Yeah.
you know, definitely an impressive car. And you know, Janice is not helpful because I go, oh man, I really don't need a Corvette, you know, like, and then I'd have to sell the Alpha, and, you know. And then she goes, well, you really love them. You need to get one.
That's a good way.
Yeah. You've got a thing about these Corvettes. Just get yourself one. Like, I'm trying to be sensible here. You're not helping.
Well, if you ever wanted a deal on one, this is the one. And then push the P.
Yeah.
That's handy, right?
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah,
It shows you exactly the moment you hit it.
that's right. That smells really good now. Well,
Remember what I said to you in the car?
yes.
I hate you. And still the case. I'm gonna have to wait to just drive an E-Ray.
Okay.
But man, and you said this one's a deal. And
This one is a deal, yes.
If I went and said, Janice, I fell in love with this Z06, you know what she's like? She'd say, well, then why don't you buy it? And I'd say, well, then what money? Make more money. Man, this is a very tempting car. The only thing, and I don't mind white cars, but as long as somebody, I don't think I've ever owned a white car. Maybe it's time.
Easy to keep clean.
Yeah, I live on a dirt road.
Right. Yeah,
So-
easy to keep clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great car. It is a great car. You know, that's got to be in the manufacturing of North American cars for the last 120 years or whatever. That is one of the most beautiful of all of them.
I agree.
The technology, the handling, the feel. There's nothing to compare. Nobody else is making anything like it. I mean, you know, Chrysler's got Challengers and Chargers, and not the same.
Chrysler's always had good straight line cars, if
Yeah.
you will. Corvettes have always been
And
true race
Mustangs
cars.
are Mustangs.
Yes.
I mean, they're not that. Never have been this. They've never, the Thunderbird was supposed to be this, and that never worked out for them.
This is probably closer to a Ford GT, if anything, if you're going to
And-
compare it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Like
the Ford
$1 million,
GT is.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think bang for the buck, maybe the best car ever made.
I think so. I think you're right.
I agree.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.